going to keep moving along, and our next speaker is Melissa Norfolk. She's the founder of BitLoud Digital, which is a full-service digital marketing agency in Melbourne. She's passionate about helping small to medium businesses connect with more customers online to get their phone ringing and broaden the reach of their brand. She's a speaker and author. Her book is Starting an Online Business for Dummies. It was published by Wiley in 2009. And today she's going to be sharing with us her tips on growing your business with an effective website. So welcome, Melissa.
Good morning, Rachel. How are you going?
I'm great. Is it raining in Melbourne too?
Yeah, it's terrible. Apparently we're expecting 50 millimetres or something in the next 24 hours, so it's very wet.
Oh my gosh, yes, it's bucketing down here. Anyway, I am going to pass over to you and and share your knowledge with everybody.
Great. Thanks a lot, Rachel. And feel free to jump in if you have a question at any time, Rachel, and prompt me if you want. But yeah, I have got some slides to share.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks. Yeah, so good morning, everyone on the call. As you heard, I'm Melissa, and today I wanted to share the key elements of a successful business website. So that's what Rachel's asked me to share today, and I'm going to go through how much should a website cost, what should it be built in, and some of the important elements like targeting to the right market, making it look good, load quick, quality content, making sure it's responsive and secure. So that's what I'm going to go over today. I have found that at this time of the year, a lot of people are either planning to start a new business in the new year or looking to rebrand or rebuild their website to make it work more effectively for them in the new year. So hopefully this just answers some questions for some people or gives you some ideas, and I am going to make my slides available. The URL is on the last slide if you want to get a copy of any of these slides. Or the question I get asked an incredible lot is, how much does a website cost? And it is true, if you want to build it yourself, you can get away with it for almost nothing except your time, and then the frustration later when perhaps it doesn't work how you want it to work or connect up to the things you want it to connect up to. You've probably seen ads for websites as low as $200, but I guess, especially being a professional, I'm a bit biased, but I definitely think that you get what you pay for when it comes to a website, and it comes down to your budget and how much time you have available and how much technical knowledge that you have. So, for example, if you've got a computer science degree or something, but you're going into a trade or a health profession and you already know the skills to build yourself a website, sure, go ahead. But it is a very fast moving industry and technology changes all the time, and if you want a website that is going to rank well and connect up to some of the important tools like MailChimp or eBay or whatever it might be in your industry, it is worth considering doing what you do best and getting a professional to help you build a website that's going to help your business grow. So definitely, I wouldn't, if I was paying a professional to build my website, I wouldn't spend less than $2,000, and then prices usually go up from there depending on what you want your website to do. Do you want it to have a member subscription area? Do you want it to sell? Do you want to have a blog? Do you want it to connect up to all your social media channels? Any of those things. And then usually an e-commerce website, if it's going to be one of your main income streams, I wouldn't be spending less than $5,000. That just gives you an idea. And then in terms of what should your website be built in, you have different options these days in terms of a CMS. So there's an acronym for you, but it means Content Management System. And so it's a free open source piece of software that lets you build your website, and it makes it easy for you to update it after it's built. And it usually has a whole library of modules that you can plug in later. So if you want to plug in a shopping cart or a blog or a member subscription area or anything like that, surveys, forms, there are usually modules available that you can plug in to your website. You might want to go with the drag and drop builder, and this is definitely the best option if you have limited technical skills and limited budget, but you want to get something up quickly to test the market. So you might use Wix, Squarespace, or Weebly. Now, I think Wix and Weebly both have a free option. Squarespace do not, but Squarespace is quite a good low-cost option. And in terms of e-commerce, definitely, I think the two biggest platforms worth looking at are Shopify and BigCommerce. And why you would use something like them because they're software as a service, which means they already plug in to all the important things like your eBay store, like any shipping type services, payment gateways, and they're regularly upgraded so that if there are changes to security or anything like that, it's included in your monthly subscription fee. So it is definitely, if you have an online store, worth looking at Shopify or BigCommerce. So then once you've decided who's going to build it and what they're going to build it in, it really is all about what's going to be on it and how it's going to work. And the thing I think most people go do is research their competitors, even copy a large amount of what their competitors are doing. But I would suggest don't do that. You really need to, from a marketing perspective, think about the purpose of your website and the audience that you're building your website for. So I've given an example here, and this is Hedonistic Hiking. And they're a travel and tourism type website, but they have a very niche market. So it's probably what most would consider the dream business. They spend half of their year in Italy and half of their year in Australia, and they go on these gourmet walking tours. So they particularly target baby boomers, people either very near retirement or who have retired that have a high disposable income, but that are fit and like going hiking, seeing the countryside and enjoying good food and wine. So it really is a very niche market. They are also on tour a lot of the time. So as you can see, they don't have their phone number prominent up in that top right-hand corner, which you would have if you really wanted people to pick up the phone and speak to you. They want people to have a good look through the website, follow a pathway through to the destination or the tour they want to visit, get some more information about that area and the sites that they particularly want to visit, and then fill out an inquiry form or pick up the phone. So their website is designed specifically for their target market. So have a think about that and how you might tailor your content for the people that you're trying to appeal to, whether it's mothers with kids, whether it's people nearing retirement, seniors, whether it's people renovating. All of them will be looking for specific things, and it's important, I'd say, in terms of investment. If you go ahead and build the site yourself on a low budget, it's still definitely worth getting a professional to help you with your copy, because the message is the most important thing on your website. And then what do you want them to do when they get there? So I talked about that briefly with this example, but if you're a tradie who fixes air conditioners, or you just want them to pick up the phone and call you and get a quote or have you come out on site. So having your phone number up in that top right-hand corner really prominent is definitely a key thing. Do you want them to follow a pathway through the website and read some information before phoning you? Do you want them to subscribe to your email newsletter? And what sort of calls to action do you have visible and in the right places to get them to take the actions you want them to take? And then, of course, how are they going to find you? So, yeah, a lot of people think they just put their website up and people will come. But you really have to think about all your other marketing. So what offline marketing do you have that's going to tell people that you have a website? Do you have an easy to remember domain name? And definitely I've talked about the copy, but the copy being the right message for your target market, but also search engine friendly to help you rank. So if you're in a particular local area, you definitely should mention suburb and your location within your copy. And if you want that dot on the map, as some of my clients say about the Google Maps, you definitely should make sure you've claimed your Google My Business listing and it's up to date, and pointing people in the local area at your website. And then, of course, social media. So I think we have a speaker later talking in more detail about social media, but you definitely want to make sure that your website is prominent on any Facebook, Instagram, YouTube profiles you might have. So in terms of important elements, you really want the website to look snazzy, look good, match your branding, be visually appealing, and think carefully about the choice of pictures and fonts. Should you be taking photos yourself on your iPhone or the like? Definitely with screen sizes the way they are, and having images look good at a really large size as well as a very small size. It is important to think about the quality that photos are taken at and consider having professional photos taken, and even down to the fonts that you use. So some people are attached to a font, perhaps they run a kindergarten or a childcare centre and they like a kiddie font. That looks great, but maybe it doesn't work across all browsers and all devices, so you really want to be careful about the fonts that you're choosing and that they're readable on the screen. You want the website to load quickly, and this does come down to how it's built. If you're on WordPress and you choose a really bloated theme, then it might take a long time to load because there are lots of lines of code behind it. It does come down to where it's hosted and also how you've saved your images and whether they're too large. Quality content is important, so the choice of words and where you place them, how easy it is to contact you and your calls to action, and security. So security has become even more important this year, particularly because Google has made HTTPS or SSL certificates pretty much compulsory because they mark sites that don't have them as unsecure. And it does definitely help with ranking if you do have a security certificate. And if you're using something like WordPress or Drupal or Joomla, new updates are coming out all the time for the software that sits behind your website. So you should be regularly updating or asking your developer, paying for maintenance, to have it updated at least a couple of times a year to make sure that it can't get hacked into or be spreading malware or a virus. So if you notice pop-ups coming up when people visit your website, this is not a good sign. Definitely time for some security. Responsive has become incredibly important. So when you're building a site, you want to make sure that it's going to work on all devices. So more and more users are using smartphones, but even down to desktops. Desktop computers have larger and larger screens, and some people have their smartwatches and the like. So you want to make sure that your website is readable and resizes for all of those devices. So it's really imperative that whatever tool you use to build your website works in all, so that your website works in all sizes, all browsers and all devices. So I might show you a couple of examples now of websites. So I'll just share. Everyone now seeing this website. So this is the hedonistic hiking website that I was telling you about. So they direct people through to locations so people know they want to visit the Italian Alps or the Italian lakes or Tuscany or the like. And so they really want to direct people through to the information about the tour and the tour highlights so that they know they're going to visit Lake Como on the tour, so that they know the longest hiking day and what level of hiker you need to be. So they want them to know some of this information before they even inquire about the tour. So they've got all sorts of things like the tour itinerary and the tour map, photos of the tour, a sample menu of the food that you can expect on the tour, So they give out quite a lot of information. So of course, this is just for a travel type business, and it's the type of information we all want to know when we're booking a holiday. But if I show you another example like this DrainJet, they're a commercial plumber. So really their clients are councils or Vic roads or large companies that have properties where drains might get blocked, etc. So they, as you can see from their photos, they have this big machinery that goes down into the drain and checks for blockages and clears blockages. But it's really not for domestic or everyday, it is a commercial application. So they try and show through their photos and definitely on their project gallery, they give examples of how their cameras work and how their equipment works and the type of projects that they work on. And they clearly show the services that they offer and how to get in contact. So it is very, again, a very niche market. I'll show this next example is Prana Therapies, which is a health service if you want to book a massage. And so they definitely have their booking button and their phone number prominent right up in that right-hand corner. And then they clearly show that they do remedial massage, oncology massage, pregnancy massage, sports massage. So people know if they want a massage and they're pregnant or they're undergoing cancer treatment and they come to this website, they know from the very first page whether this site has got the services that they want, and they make it very easy to book. So if you were looking to book, you probably wouldn't go much past the front page. But they do have, of course, more information on each type of service if you want to, and a blog and testimonials and the like, for people that like to find out a bit more information before they book. And if you came down to actually selling over the internet, got a couple here, Sacrifice Scooters and the Pen Place, which again are really quite niche markets. Sacrifice Scooters are going after professional scooters who compete at a world level on their scooters, and they go through and let people build their own scooter down to every single part. And so they really are appealing to a particular target market, and they go through and show all the parts. Plus they link up to their social media, because a lot of people that are active in the scooter scene professionally are online sharing videos of their new scooter and the tricks that they can do. So they go through and show all of the parts. The Pen Place is a very niche one for people that might spend hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars on a pen. And it might be companies in a city with somebody retiring or 10 years of service that want a pen. It's also sometimes insurance jobs when people have had a theft and they're trying to replace an expensive pen. And so, yeah, all they sell is pens and pen refills and desk accessories. So their website is very niche. If I go back to my slides now. So what a website looks like these days is very driven by the devices that we're all looking at them on. So you'll notice that a lot of websites have the big hero image and then perhaps 3 columns. And that is because it needs to be able to resize on every device. So when you go down to a phone or an iPad, one of those columns fits on the screen. Perhaps on a tablet, 2 of those columns appear. So when you're thinking about the design of your website, you really need to think about that and listen to a professional who can help you make sure that what you're asking for is going to work on all devices and resize. So a website is really all meant to be about projecting the right image and the right brand online and making it easy for customers to connect with you and grow your business. So if it's built in the right way, it should do that job for you. So I wanted to say thanks for listening. Hopefully I've given you some tips, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I've put my slides up online, and these are my contact details. That was all. Rachel, did you have some questions for me? Are we out of time? I can't hear you, Rachel.
Sorry, no, I had to unmute myself and it's going slow. No, I think people can simplify websites, but it's quite confusing as well. And I think what you've presented is like a bit of a step-by-step process on how to understand some of what a web developer will throw at you when they're talking to you. And that it's, doing a DIY website, unless you understand about it, just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, well, sometimes, especially if you're in a visual type profession, like you're an artist or a jewellery designer or a photographer, you have a particular picture in your mind of what you want your website to visually look like, but maybe that doesn't lend itself very well to the technology and work on all devices.
Mm-hmm.
I've had examples of, say, a chocolate maker that wanted to make their products available over the internet, and they went ahead and built a free website themselves, but then had all sorts of trouble with the actual selling and delivering of food because there were limitations to the platform that they picked. So, yeah, I can understand why people starting out on a budget might test the market first with a free website, but there really is a lot to it in terms of ranking, being secure, and plugging in all the right things to, as your business grows, to connect with apps and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you do in your business to help other business owners grow their business using digital?
We're a digital marketing agency, so actually websites probably one of the smallest things that we do now, because most people already have one and they only need help with updates from time to time. We spend a lot of our time on SEO and Google ads, and also on social media, so particularly Facebook and Instagram. Instagram has been growing a lot and businesses wanting help with that. So yeah, we help just promote you in the right places to get people through to the website and get people buying or calling. Yeah.
Awesome. So you're giving everyone who's listening now and those who are tuning in on the recording a free 1-hour consultation to audit and consult on your online marketing strategy. So that sounds like it could be a very powerful offer for people to take up.
Coming into the new year, we do a lot of it with people just wanting to audit what they're doing and work out what they should stop, what they should take up to make the marketing more effective in the new year.
Yeah. Sounds fabulous. Thank you. And I'll be sending out a link for everybody to access that offer if that's something that they're interested in.
Great. Thanks for your time today, Rachel, and thanks everyone for listening.
No problem. Thanks, Melissa. I hope you don't float away to this weekend.
Hopefully not.
Cool. So